Welcome to the highlight show for Group 3 of the Champions League. Mark Allen comes over from the snooker scene, having just won the major title there. Jordan Shepherd, the former Pro Cup champion, one of the top players in the world. Former world champion Carl Morris and new professional Phil Parkin make up this group. On to our first match then, and it is Jordan Shepherd versus Carl Morris. And it is Carl that made the faster start, winning the opening 2 frames. Jordan has the break at 2-0 down. Oh, hammered that one. Oh, it's going to be dry.
Wow.
Absolutely flushed to be dry. Big difference if you've been watching Jordan Shepherd for a few years. Big difference in his attitude at the table. Something like this before would have almost erupted into a full-on sort of cue smash on the floor. He is working very hard on the mental side of the game.
Well, he talked to us extensively about that in the Pro Cup, didn't he? Where he had a great run again in that tournament as he attempted to defend his title from the year before, and had one of, for me, one of the greatest nights that anyone's had in a while. Pulled off 2 unbelievable comeback victories when he was absolutely ridden with the flu at the time, which made it an even more impressive victory. And he really attributed quite a lot of that success to the work that he's been doing with sports psychologists to keep his mind sharp, keep himself concentrated. And he's going to need to be concentrated because I suspect he may be coming back to the table in this visit. That's not gone right for Carl.
It's not gone right for Carl at all, and worse than knocking the red safe, all the yellows are in the open. That red that's by the yellow, it doesn't block the yellow at all. You can get to the potting angle, so if he does turn the table over, he's in a little bit of trouble. His plan here was to get that cue ball into the middle of the table, go top left, and then the one that's on the cushion, he was going to play down the table off the yellow. Can't do that now, so trying to come up with another plan. Maybe drop the one in and then try and do it again, but it's tough to do the later you leave it. Tries to play into it. The problem he had that the yellow and 8-ball, or the yellow just below the 8-ball, was in the way. Didn't really have access to it. So he's full on digging here.
Oh, he is digging deep.
Yeah, that's nice. The cue ball's run a little bit too far. He was trying to, rather than using the one on the cushion, he was trying to use the one in the open to do the same shot. So we would play it off the cushion, off the yellow. The problem he has, he can still play that shot even though it's off angle. It's getting the cue ball down the table. And he's looking to see if when he plays this shot, whether the red will go across to the right-hand side and be on from the cue ball at the top of the table, because he can't really get the cue ball anywhere much past the break line here.
Hell of a shot if he pulls this off.
Yeah, hit the wrong yellow on the way down the table.
He's not fluked it, has he? No, but he might just make that pocket a little bit annoying. Little
there you go.
Tap of the table there from Jordan Shepherd.
I think Jordan's
bit cheeky of him.
Yeah, he's having a little bit of fun there. That's a little acknowledgement of a little bit of fortune that Carl's had, a bit of a hit and hope. And if the red doesn't go and sit over that pocket and he's got a pot on, he's out really, because they're all there. He's got no pot and he's left a ball over the pocket. So simple loss of turn, but he is giving Carl a bit of a hit at this. Not that there's much you can do with it, but you just never know.
Yeah, international 8-ball rules. You can pot your opponent's ball as long as you play a legal shot in doing so. That plant from Jordan, a perfect example of it. Simply loss of turn. Carl gets the red moving. Pots a yellow for good measure, but as we just said, not a foul. And now Jordan Shepherd can go at these.
Yeah, that should be that. That should be Jordan on the board. He just has to mind his work here. Always an uncomfortable feeling, because you know what your opponent's going to do in that situation, and they're either going to come up with a moment of magic, or they're going to, maybe try and get a fluke of some sort, and just, you've played the percentage shot. You've just got to ride it out. Wants an angle to go up the table. It's not too. I think he could just slide past the 8-ball. And
yeah.
The further right he goes, the straighter he's on the yellow, and he can hold for the one at the top then. Yeah.
he's in good shape here, Jordan Shepherd. Such a good player to watch when he's on form. There's a beautiful flow about the table. One of the quickest guns in the West. And Jordan Shepherd is indeed on the board. He goes back within one, and
Jordan tied the scores up with a reverse clearance in the next frame and has the break in frame 5.
Yes, yes, he does. He wants. They're all competitive though. They really want to win, but there's something, you know, like I say, there is a little bit of spice in this one. Not that both of them are dealing with it well. You know, it's all amicable, but there's an edge.
so Sheppy breaks dry. What can Carl produce from here? Yellows could be the ball, and he might be able to go into a problem area straight away if he's cutting this back.
Might be just too thin. Yeah, it was just too thin, but that's okay. That cannon with the red going on the yellow, that's actually hurt him. He could have used the one in the middle to go into the real problems, but now he's created another half a problem as well. And we are in that 15 seconds a shot part of the match as well.
Yeah, that noise you just heard. We'll now have 15 seconds a shot for the last 5 minutes of this match.
That's not worked out particularly nicely for him either. So this one's starting to get away from him. 2 shots in. Can he just get another nudge on them? Forcing it into the middle is never ideal. Yeah, and that's the end of it. Well, no, if he's still on the one to the top right, actually.
I think he is, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, just for a second I thought it stuck to it so badly he wasn't going to be on anything, but he has got another one here. So attention now turns on the one below the 8 ball.
Not the first time we've seen Carl Morris running around
as well.
the table, and that is a time foul.
And he's going to question the referee. We should point out at this moment as well that Carl is deaf and he's not hearing the beeps in the same way. So other players may well know, you know, that that's a little bit late. He's going on visual cues. You can see there's a clock and 9 screens with the clock counting down and another screen with a clock as well. So there's plenty out there for him to help him.
Should say as well that in Ultimate Pool history, I don't think anyone has sort of mastered that shot clock and playing shots on 1 second better than Carl Morris. It's almost a superpower. It's incredible. We've spoken to him at length about it before, and I've watched him for a few years now in these conditions. I can't remember a time foul from him before. He's usually the expert at getting down and playing the shot with just less than a second to go.
As I say, he's normally very close. Normally very close indeed.
Yeah, he says, you know, the absence of one sense improves the other. He has fantastic peripheral vision. That's what he credits. It's manna from heaven here for Jordan Shepherd, because he will go in front with not long left on the clock.
It will be Carl Morris's break though. And there is long enough.
Yeah, still, in a strange way, plenty of time left in this match. 2:15. Oh, he's absolutely crunched it. He has absolutely crunched it.
Oh, he'd love a yellow. He's got one from distance.
Yeah, he's straight over it.
Yeah. He can get out here. Plenty of time to get out here. May have to play the plant on the left-hand side. Not easy to clip the one in down. It'd be great if he could. May screw across of it now if he can get on it. No. Now it might end up leaving it as the plant then. Depends how he sees it. If he tries to get on the one right near the cushion, right near the bottom left corner, and then he's got the one over the top right to get back out. Yeah, that's what he is trying to do.
It's a lovely shot. Very, very straight though.
Yeah, he needed angle because he needs to just get the cue ball out a fraction.
Oh, Thought we were going to see the old behind the back shot. We are.
He's got to get a good angle on this one because he needs to get back down to the middle of the table off the one at the top of the table. I wonder, can he screw it off the red? Can't screw it direct. This is actually a much tougher shot than it looks. Yeah, that's not a surprise to see him going this way. Oh, make your mind up.
There we see, absolutely perfect.
That's a great shot. That really is a great shot.
With barely any time whatsoever on the shot clock to pull that out is incredible. And then he misses the yellow.
He was out there. He was out.
Well, that's incredible. Did all the hard work. Jordan Shepherd is totally professional. He's just going to kill a little bit of time, calls extension immediately. He doesn't have to win this frame. He's 3-2 up. He can just let the clock expire. He is 1 or 2 balls away from doing just that and keep himself at the table. Keeps Carl Morris off it. And that is all she wrote. Jordan Shepherd beats Carl Morris in our first match of the night.
On to our second match then, Mark Allen taking on Phil Parkin, and it's Phil Parkin with a break in the opening frame.
Ready and raring to go in the Ultimate Pool Champions League. Phil Parkin with the first break though, and he's got the first opportunity as well.
Hit this well. Came across it just a little bit, but the power just exploded. The pack just exploded. Could have finished better though. Not on anything.
Yeah.
Not on anything easy anyway. And I think he can only pot a red, and there's a red loose at the bottom of the table, which is awkward. There is one breakout ball, so I guess he will take reds on. My issue with the breakout, well, we're not going to get there anyway. My issue with the breakout is that, assuming you've got the one on the top of the triangle area there, if you go into it from that ball, you're knocking it towards the cushion where there are yellows, so that ball becomes a problem ball. Mark is going to take reds as well. I actually prefer yellows here, personally. You take yellows there, and you can play the bottom left yellow, and you can bump into the red and yellow together. You're guaranteed to be on a ball, and then you can get out. And Mark could have played the yellow in the bottom end of the table. Might go and try and break it out now. Well, there's another red down there. Yeah, very good.
Oh, what a shot.
Yeah, much better than using the one I suggested, because you could go into it guaranteeing yourself being on this one.
And what a bonus that he's on the one he's just cannoned into as well. May take it now. Keep always work together. Could go another way though.
Yeah, I can absolutely agree with you. I think the one on the bottom cushion then might become a hard ball to get onto, but I think you have to take it now, because your other option is to take the one in the middle, which is you're good connected to it, so you'd have to connect from the top of the table. So I like this, and that's perfect.
Totally different sport and totally different game, but in any sporting sense, there is no substitute, none at all, for the confidence that comes from winning. And Mark Allen will be absolutely flush with it at the moment.
Oh, no doubt about it.
And he goes 1-0 in front. Smooth finish.
Phil won the next 2 frames with clearances from the break. Mark Allen's now breaking 2-1 behind.
Oh, yeah, hit that really nice. Yeah, deserves a ball, and he's got a ball.
It is interesting. The two sort of biggest name sort of snooker players who've come over and played in Ultimate Pool so far. I think of Mark Selby and Mark Allen. Has really caught the eye. Hasn't necessarily been there just playing open table. Both of them are sledging that break.
Yeah, absolutely. I think kind of no surprise with Mark Selby, obviously with his history in the game, but the surprise, I guess, is the fact that how quickly to adapt back to the small table game and getting that feel there. Straight on the bad ball here. Straight on the ball to break out the bad ball. Just got that one wrong. Needed to hit the gap to sort of get both of the balls moving.
Oh, it's a fraction wrong, but it's a fraction that could really cost him.
Yeah. If he catches the gap, he's probably on a choice of 2 or 3, including the one he's next to, which would have been the ideal situation.
Got 10 seconds to figure out a way to play safe. Looks to me that he's touching balls, so he can play away.
I'm not sure that he was, you know. I didn't see...
No, he wasn't. There we go.
I didn't see the referee jump in to have a look and call anything, so I don't think there was no call, and he just looked to try and make it off the top cushion because there's no safety on from where he was. He could just clip off the ball, but he was always going to leave the ball on. And in that situation, you might, as low percentage as the shot that Mark played was, you might as well try and come up with something crazy because you're leaving a clearance on whatever you do.
Yeah, he's a little bit unlucky. Margins in this game are so tiny. If he hits the gap of the 2 balls instead of one of the balls, he is probably out and back to 2-2. Phil just has to make sure from here.
Yeah, just stopping in his tracks, but this looks perfect to me. Stun this in, straight in on the one to the bottom left, connects to the bottom right, one in the middle. Absolutely perfect. If he can put the cue ball where the one in the bottom cushion is, it's the perfect angle just to drift up for the 8 ball. It's almost in a sort of, doesn't have to move the cue ball at all on any shot here until the one onto the 8 ball. He sees it differently. He's going to go to right centre to leave plenty of angle. You can't argue with this, actually. Straight in here, and he tracks straight up the middle of the table with all the room in the world. I like this much better than my way around. I like this a lot.
Yeah, brilliant stuff again from Phil Parkin. Was really, really good in the Ultimate Pool Pro Cup just before the turn of the year.
A break clearance in the next wrapped the match up for Phil Parkin. Mark Allen is straight back in action, this time against Carl Morris.
In either the 2 events, as Carl Morris breaks us off in our 3rd match of the night. Big match, this. Loser of it can't qualify. Winner of it is still very much alive.
Yeah, and more so than ever, really, because the group is so tight. You know, we're going to see this all season long, really, with the Champions League. You know, in previous years, you maybe got a standout favourite or 2, but when the group is so tight, if you do lose your first match, there's still a chance to get through, more than ever. So Mark Allen with the first opportunity can take on the yellows, and all the yellows have a pocket. And it comes down to the root. A little bounce here is perfect. Just starting to work it out now. He's going to have to just play on the one to the right centre. Wants a little angle just to be able to, yeah, perfect little angle, just to drift up to the middle of the table. Does he have enough angle just to bump into the red? If not, can he get to the cushion, which actually would maybe give him a better angle on the yellow to the top left? Shade too much angle.
He's played that so well.
Yeah, it's a delightful cannon. That was way too much angle. Had to do something, and he's come up with a great cannon.
Yeah, that was absolutely as played there. Potted into the thick part of the pocket. Got his line absolutely flawless. Flushed the yellow. Nicely paced. That was a really, really good clearance from Mark Allen. Breaking off in the second frame. And that break's been pretty reliable, as we've talked about a lot.
Ball.
Can't really hit them much better than that. And how do you like those? How do you like those? Even some of the Mark Allen entourage giving him some facials after that one. That's perfectly hit.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect.
Yeah, and yeah, he's got the ball players' reactions nice and quick. That's
Learns quick.
A knowing nod there. That was pretty devastating. I gave him the big build up in the studio beforehand. He's got so his break is brilliant. Well, he's small sample size, I know, but from the 3 breaks, he's been kicked in off twice. It's been pretty harsh. Oh, and Carl, what are you doing? He's completely lost. I mean, that's the sort of mistake you could forgive Mark Allen for making, not Carl Morris. The ball went in off the break. It's cue ball in hand anywhere behind the break line, not anywhere on the table. And Carl knows that better than anyone. He has just had a little bit of a mental meltdown there. Big error.
Yeah, that's a huge error.
So you can see that. And yeah, the minute he struck the white, it was a foul.
Important to note that now that the foul has been played, it's no longer the shot after the break. So Mark does have cue ball in hand anywhere on the table. He can play that shot. Yeah, and handily, Carl had already done a little bit of his work for him.
Yeah, exactly. The funny thing is that I can understand what was going through Mark Allen's head there. He was probably slightly a little bit worried. What was that for? And am I okay to put it wherever I want? So it's one of those. Just very confusing because of, and that's why the wry smile on Carl's face, because that's just a poor error really, and he knows it, and it's probably, well, it wasn't going to cost it. He wasn't going to go for the finish. He was just going to play a tactical shot following his first shot. But you're absolutely right, Stephen. The minute he'd played his, it actually opened up everything for Mark just to make the clearance.
Oh, maybe a bit of a sense of justice for Mark Allen as a fantastically hit break does in the end, resulting in winning the frame.
A reverse clearance made it 3-0 and Mark Allen wrapped the match up in the 4th for a comfortable 4-0 victory. On to the key 4th match of the night. Jordan Shepherd and Phil Parkin both with opening wins, and they shared the opening 2 frames here. We join Phil Parkin breaking in frame 3.
Phil's had a little bit of run with his break tonight. He didn't get that one nice at all, and you can almost see the way that this cue ball speeds off the pack. He doesn't get a flush connection with it. Almost seems to go quicker back to the baulk cushion than it came away from it with the break. So you didn't hit it perfectly clean, but not that you'd know. I mean, the yellow also stopped his cue ball going in into the middle pocket as well.
And 4 balls potted. They absolutely exploded on him. This shouldn't take too long.
No. Absolutely not. Just goes to show, though, how much a difficult clearance can take off the clock, because we had, what, just a shade over 18 minutes when Phil finished his first frame. That, from Jordan there, took well over 4, and that's because it took his time to work out a much more difficult finish.
The clock doesn't stop when the balls are being re-racked as well. That's at this point, only in the last 5 minutes does that happen.
Yeah, very true. But Phil Parkin is a man in a hurry. Well, I've got no idea how that cue ball hasn't gone down. Not that it makes much difference to Jordan Shepherd, because no other balls go down either. He's experimenting with his break. Moved the cue ball on that occasion. And he is someone who will chop and change. He's far from consistent. Loses faith quite easily with his break if it's not going well. Doesn't believe in fate and all that sort of thing. He'll just move it, try and change something up. He's not opposed to the cut break either. Wonder if we'll see that the next time he comes to the table, because at the minute he's staying in the night, but he's not really had any success off his break.
No, and he doesn't hang about. Normally he does like to change if it's not working. But the way that Phil's going right now, that might be in the next match for Jordan Shepherd, because, well, he's just done 6 on the bounce. This is for 7. And he breaks next, and that would be the match.
Oh, he tried to use all the pocket there. Tried to cheat it a little bit.
Potential turning point.
Just watch this here. Tries to pot it as thick as he can, just to hold that cue ball. And he knew straight away he just tried to do a little bit too much.
This is not a good leave, though, for Jordan.
Oh, you'd still rather be yellows. Of that, there is no doubt.
So I wonder whether he can pot the one to the top left. It's on the break line, and either play the combination shot at the same time and open up that pocket. Don't know whether the yellow just to the right of it gets in the way, or maybe use the top cushion and try and nudge his reds down the table if he hasn't quite got the angle, but yellow does look like it could be in the way.
Well, as you quite rightly mentioned a little bit earlier on, Jordan Shepherd doesn't really do safe, or he doesn't like to if he can avoid it, and that's why this particular game and rule set suits him so much.
That's one of them.
That helps.
That's one of them. I wonder, does the other red, can he get behind it for
into the middle?
Into the corner? And if he can get straight on that, it would be last. But we see he's just had a look. See for bottom left. Definitely, obviously, bottom right. Delicate would be into the middle. But if he can get right behind it, it becomes a good last ball. That's not a good angle, though.
Yeah, I was just going to say, has he gone slightly too far across the table? I think so. He's got to play a good shot here. I think he's still got a chance. Might have to take the one to the middle now, though.
I don't think you can play it in such a way to get on the one at the top. It's too delicate into the middle. You can't inject the pace to get above the yellow. It becomes a blocker. He's in a world of hurt here.
Yeah, tried to pinch it.
He was accepting what he had, which was to drop that in and have an ultra thin cut.
And Phil Parkin gets away with one. Almost feels a bit churlish calling that Jordan Shepherd mistake, but he'll feel it was a chance missed.
Yeah, if his previous shot pulled up a couple of rolls less and he could have got on the one at the top, he definitely would have had a great chance to get out. Margin of error, you know, is slim, but just overran it.
Yeah, the bad shot there wasn't the miss. It wasn't even the positional shot before the miss. It was one before that. Landed wrong angle to the top left and derailed what was a very, very good visit to the table beforehand. Oh, Philip.
Has he just... No, just from the overhead I wondered whether it just come enough to be able to clip this back. I don't think so. He's going to have to probably go for a double.
Oh, this is a massive shot now. Look at this match. Just under 8 minutes to go. Balanced at 2-1.
I think it's an easier double into the bottom left corner, but I think it's more safe. It's a safer play to play it into the middle with the cue ball here.
What a shot. What a shot from Phil Parkin. That is brilliant. Judge this one to absolute perfection.
Phil would wrap the match up in the next for a comfortable 4-1 victory and take control of the night. Jordan Shepherd would stay out in the arena. This time he plays Mark Allen.
Pistol versus a Welsh wizard. Mark Allen Allen's break remains ever faithful. Crunches it once again. We'll take a look at the first visit of the match. Remember, the situation of the night is important. Whoever doesn't win this match, and it may well be both if it's a draw, cannot qualify through. The only way either of these two will qualify is if they win this one and Carl Morris pulls out a result against Phil Parkin in the final match of the night.
That really is a hammer of a break from Mark Allen. It really is. A little bit congested in the bottom end of the table. Does the yellow below the 8 ball go to the bottom left past the red? It's very tight. Well, he needs it to with this angle. He's played on it, so it must do. Ooh, just feathered it. Just feathered it, and that kept it out. Well, we talk about Jordan not wanting to play safety, but I think he probably has to here. Yeah, pretty good. A good choice as well.
Yeah, very clever.
Yeah. My first thought was, could you play it thinner, get behind the red at the bottom, but the margin of error there is nowhere. He's played it into a safe area of the table, made sure he couldn't see the one to the left of the 8 ball, because that's the one that could be potted. So the safe choice, absolutely right.
It's quite a good sort of containing response actually from Mark Allen.
Yeah, making sure that the red at the bottom doesn't go.
That's a very good response as well from Jordan. Very good. Clever move, cannoning that yellow to the side rail.
Just wondering what sort of damage a loss of turn shot here does. If he plays yellow onto red, leaves the cue ball where the yellow is, Jordan's not going to be on anything, and it's going to be tough to get out. He's gone more aggressively.
Well, that's certainly opened it up. Jordan straight after his bad ball.
Doesn't want to hit the yellow full. Not too bad, actually. He's far enough down that it's a clip in. He missed something like this in the other end of the table in the previous match, but this time he doesn't have to worry about the cue ball in such the same way. Makes it so much easier.
Amazing how much easier the shot is when you're just focusing on potting the ball. So it's Jordan Shepherd who will have first blood in this matchup.
The next 3 frames were all off the break, Jordan taking 2 of them to go 3-1 in front.
This time he slightly mishits it.
Not that you'd know.
Yeah, the result's still good. Red and yellow together, top left-hand corner. Just causing the headache here. Don't know if there's enough room to play on the yellow nearest the pocket. And if there is, then is there room to get out off it? That would suggest there is. And he doesn't have to do too much, just float this in, and the other yellow in the top half of the table goes right centre. Just has to clear the red.
Yeah, does that really comfortably in the end. Arguably actually goes too far. I don't think he thought he'd get that far.
Yes, plenty too far actually. Oh, needs to hit the gap. Needs to hit the gap, and that is absolutely plumb.
Oh, he did so well. Got right into that.
The problem he had is leaving those 2 last was awkward. Make the case for trying to play on them and then play the plant to stay on it, but quite have the angle to do that.
Not that you'd know it was awkward. Not that you would know.
Oh.
That's amazing to leave it there.
He's still a good chance to pot this, you know. This will go close. It will go close, but not enough.
It's the only place on that line that he played that he could really leave himself in that kind of position. It's a bit unlucky. Jordan Shepherd's also got a bit of work to do here because that red's now a major problem. It's often said in international 8-ball rules that you don't really gain much for having a ball covering the pocket because, you know, a big part of this rule set is being able to just take that off the table. You can't do that with the 8-ball, however. It is in a bit of a power position at the moment for Mark Allen. Jordan Shepherd needs to find a way to solve it.
He could take one of the reds at the top down to the bottom left. Yeah, see him coming out of a look now. And then that you play it off the 8-ball, opens up the pocket for the red. The red actually might sneak in off the draw anyway, but he is playing that shot I talked about, and it's not quite what he wanted, but he can still play it, or he could play the safe. But I'd be shocked if he does that. I think he can still see the red to play it.
It's tight.
Yeah, tighter than I thought, actually. Yeah, it's just a safety. So it's just a safety. He manages to pull out the shot. Excellent. Still needs another good pot.
Yeah, lovely.
Well, he's going to ask the question of Phil.
Very good from Jordan Shepherd. Not really done much wrong tonight at all as the Welsh Wizard. And he will ask the question. Jordan Shepherd beats Mark Allen. Now has to rely on a victory from Carl Morris to force a 6-red shootout with Phil Parkin.
On to our final match of the night. A win or a draw will see Phil Parkin go through. A loss would mean a 6-red shootout against Jordan Shepherd. It was a fast start for Carl Morris though, with clearances from the opening 2 breaks. Phil did get one of his own to get on the board in frame 3.
Yeah, I feel a lot better after that one though. Get back within 1 and his break. Hit this one better. Much better. Yeah, pretty good layout as well. Doesn't have a great opening red, but I think I like yellows anyway. I think all the yellows are there.
Extension called.
The one that looks awkward near the reds isn't really that awkward. Absolutely fine gap for it to the bottom corner.
Yeah, it's a pretty perfect last ball, actually. These all connect up nicely. Less than 10 to go.
He would love to have had another roll on that previous one, but he's still okay. Just come across the top of the yellow. Just about. He's grimacing because he could have done with that cue ball again, going another 2-3 rolls just so he's
really
less
could.
angle. He's now got to kill this cue ball. Yeah.
And in trying to do that, he misses the pot. We've said this a few times tonight.
If he just makes the pot and doesn't worry about the cue ball, killing the cue ball comes too far down the table, he's not on the yellow. Just, it's so subtle, but if he goes 2 more rolls across the table, he almost can't fail. And Carl should just be able to fly through these.
You know, quite a lot of players, if they had... Yes, there's ranking points available, but these are top players. They're not too interested about a few ranking points. They want to be able to win. There's a few who, you know, I'll tell you what, give me a second here, because this is a bad shot from Carl. He's got a shot to play here.
Well, it's a really poor route as well. His pattern's terrible here, and that's why he's ended up on the wrong side of the ball. That should never have been his last ball. He's okay, though.
Oh, gets away with it.
For a player of his quality, that was a really bizarre way round the table.
A good response from Phil Parkin, winning the next 2 frames with clearances from the break, but it's Carl Morris that has the break in the decider.
What odds on a golden break, anyone?
First one of the night if we get one. What a time for it.
3 minutes and 5, final frame of the night. And Carl Morris has crunched them. Carl Morris has crunched them.
That is not what Phil Parkin wanted to see.
And the odds of a 6-red shootout have just shortened dramatically.
Yeah,
Phil Parkin knows.
Shake of the head from Phil. Love to see a camera on Sheppy right now.
Red's the choice.
Just the wrong side of this red. Straight enough that he doesn't really matter. Yeah, didn't have to get too close to the next ball, so he's fine. Really looking for a problem here, and I can't see one.
Yeah, it's tough to build drama in this visit here from Carl Morris. This should be just about as routine as it gets. Well, it's been a little while since we've seen this. Carl Morris with nothing to play for has gone and pulled a rabbit out of the hat. 4-3 Carl Morris. It's 6-red shootout time. He forces Phil Parkin to sweat it out. And Jordan Shepherd will come back into the arena with the opportunity, courtesy of that win against Mark Allen, to head through to the next stage with a 6-red shootout. All right then, quick primer if you've never seen one before. Pottle 6 reds, quickest time wins. Cue ball and object ball must be still. There can be other balls moving whilst you play. Jordan Shepherd with the break. That's not bad. And now he can go.
Yeah, just took his time on that first shot, but he can go here. Oh, that's awkward. He wanted that to come away a little bit more. This is going to be a quick time.
Yes,
early 20s.
The Welsh Wizard is flying. That's quick. That is quick. Under 22 for sure. It has been checked, it has been verified, and the official time, I can tell you, is 22:08. That's the time Phil Parkin has to beat. If he does, he's into the next stage of the Ultimate Pool Champions League.
Hit that a little bit hard, but he stopped the cue ball quickly, which was good.
Now he can go.
Oh, I still think he should have gone bottom there. Oh, great pot.
What a pot that is.
He could do this. Oh, he's had to wait too long for the cue ball.
He's scrambling, and Jordan Shepherd's there. Jordan Shepherd has done it.
Jordan Shepherd goes through to the second stage of the Champions League. Phil Parkin was fantastic on the night, but comes up just short in the 6-red shootout. If you'd like to watch this night back, you can. It is on ultimatepool.tv, as all the groups are. Or if you're looking forward to next week, then this is what we have for you. On Monday, the 30th of January at 6:30 on Viaplay and ultimatepool.tv, the world champion Ronan McCarthy is in action. He has David McNamara, Tom Ford, the snooker star, and Drew Hughes for company. Should be an absolutely cracking group in the Champions League.